Let's talk about transparency in a game development studio, and what more appropriate game to play for this topic than No Man's Sky. One of my favorite games of all time, aesthetically, gameplay-wise now, after the several updates have finally delivered on many of the things that the original promise of the game was. And I haven't played in a while, and I do know there are a couple of things I don't like about the design of No Man's Sky now, even though they have improved so many things. One of those things being the restriction of technology to base building and having to progress in a very linear fashion. I think they were right to introduce base building. I think it was actually a good addition to the game, but I think they kind of missed the mark a little bit with regards to the research and tech development. I don't think it was wise to lock them behind having to build a base, because not only does that restricts what kind of base you can build, because now you have to build all of these different things instead of just building what you want to build. So now you got to blow a bunch of resources on that, so it inhibits the player. But otherwise I enjoy the game. So we're gonna play on creative so that I don't have to, because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time trying to unlock shit. Just want to get in there and build some shit, find some cool ships, walk around planets while I ramble for a while. So this video is covering transparency with regards to a game's development prior to release and support of the game after it's released. And I was going to use Destiny 2 as the big topic here, the main example of a game that can suffer from a lack of transparency and then can repair itself through transparency. But I think a more appropriate example, which, believe it or not, is not No Man's Sky, is actually the disparity between Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous. Now, Elite Dangerous released as a relatively complete game. It was feature light at the time, but it was a full release game. Not a huge amount of bugs, still very awe-inspiring, very realistic to most people, a very immersive HUD, etc., etc. It made some waves when it came out. Of course, with No Man's Sky's initial flop, I should say, the Elite community blossomed a little bit. Star Citizen's community blossomed a little bit because people were now more aware that space games were a thing, as I'm sure a lot of people didn't really pay too much attention to that. This is taking a spectacularly long time to load. I do hope it loads someday. Perhaps I should have started the game first. It is smoothing out a little bit over time. There we go. Okay. It's not loading shaders anymore. So Star Citizen was actually announced close to the same time as... Oh, we got a little bit of an input delay. Okay, there we go. It's actually announced close to the same time as... Let me move the camera down. There we go. It's a little awkward. I should have taken the time to set up my webcam. Announced at about the same time as Elite Dangerous was announced. I think they're like a year apart. They're pretty close together in their announcement dates. Elite released first as a complete game. Star Citizen took significantly longer. Now, the differences between the game, I guess we'll start by getting us a ship. Why not? Let's go to the space station and see what we can see. Also, this new flight system, they added it in like 1.38 or something. I love it. So much better. So, 1 second while I gather my thoughts. Always takes me a little bit to really focus in on an idea. Much easier for me to write things out first and then say them than it is for me to just say them off the top of my head. So, Elite was considered a better game than Star Citizen for a long time because it was an actual fucking game. It had actual mechanics. There were relatively frequent updates, planned expansions. They were driving a little bit of hype in their community with Horizons before it released, saying, hey, we're going to be able to land on planets now and all this other shit. So it was doing very well for itself, while Star Citizen started to falter. It gained a lot of publicity as the most successfully crowdfunded game of all time, currently sits at 168 million in crowdfunding, and is still gaining money, which is absolutely ridiculous. They've actually made something like, they made several million in just the last couple of weeks, so they are really churning with their effective marketing and pricing strategy, which I could cover that whole fucking concept in a totally different video, which I might do. Now, Star Citizen had a problem because its scope increased exponentially when it went viral as a game, as a concept. And 2.0 is generally considered to be a completely different game to 3.0. Because obviously there's... Maybe I should turn down the... I just realized the sound is probably quite loud. I apologize for that. Should have been paying attention. Hopefully I've been talking loud enough to overwhelm the sound a little bit. That'd be rather embarrassing. I'd have to record this whole thing over again. But I'm going to bank on hoping that it... Or I'm going to bank on... not being too quiet. So... Star Citizen started to draw a lot of criticism because it was taking a very, very long time for even small content releases on their alpha build. Now, a lot of people started to have a lot of people had concern about that. Now, over time, I'm starting to see a trend where Star Citizen is actually starting to gain more traction over the longer period of time than Elite Dangerous, despite them being very similar games. Both of them obviously space games. We'll sit and wait for some ships to come by, see what we can get. So space games with an emphasis on mostly space stuff, trading, mining, combat, shit like that. Star Citizen obviously was thinking it was also going to do an FPS thing, which at the time was considered like hugely ambitious already. Just adding an FPS component was considered a huge undertaking at the time. So, and of course we're seeing now that, oh, it is indeed very possible to make this game as long as you have the time and the money. Now, it's starting to gain more traction than Elite Dangerous over time, and that's because of transparency. Now that we're finally getting to the fucking topic. I really rambled on for a while there, didn't I? So Star Citizen, or rather I should say Cloud Imperium and Chris Roberts, have a philosophy of always being very forthcoming about their development process. They constantly put out videos about what's going on in the studio. They have citizen cons so they can say, hey, here's all the things that we're working on that's not going to be in the current alpha builds. These are what you can look forward to after alpha 3.0 releases, etc., etc. I want the ship, which I can get for free because I'm a beast. It's not really that much better than what I got, but I'll take it. At least it looks nicer. So, they talk about the bugs they're crushing. They talk about the ships that are done, the ships that are still in concept, the ships that are out of concept but currently being worked on. Ooh, I want that wing. I've actually never seen those wings before. That's nice. Gotta take this ship because it looks fucking cool. C-class ship. That's kind of disappointing, but okay. I can just warp to another system. This may not be a very rich system. So, they were extremely transparent with their development process, and as a result, everybody always knew what was happening in the studio. More or less. They always knew that the game was being worked on actively all the time. Okay, hang on. I gotta remember what I'm doing for a sec. It's been a while. Let's see. That's the coolest thing about this is on creative mode, you just refill everything for free. Alright, so they talked about their development process quite a lot, and so when people say the game's never going to come out, it's just a cash grab by the devs, blah 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 blah, I can't agree with that because I see the progress that they're making all the time. They know it's taking them a long time to make content. The scope of the game increased. they decided they needed to rebuild their tools. You could say that the game probably was redesigned after 2.6 or version 2, Alpha 2 probably. The idea of the game was starting to be rethought of, and they had better ideas for how they wanted to do things. Ooh, I like that drift now. It drifts a little bit when you're flying. That's nice. A little bit of a better feeling of momentum now. I like that. So now if I can just figure out how to land. There we go. Oh, well, hello there. I appear to have accidentally impaled my ship with this large rock. Whoa, okay, I didn't want that. I didn't want to, like, jump into a fucking pit. This is not a bad place. Crazy floating disc islands. Anyway, so, ooh, it's a cool mountain. I guess I'll have to build the things before I can get vehicles. I should look for a base. That's what I should do. Let's make a... Nope, that's not it. There we go. Let's spawn a... the harvesters and shit. I haven't done that. I haven't used those either. I look forward to playing around with those a little bit. I've only used creative mode once, and it was a long time ago. So I've always been the type to really want the progression. But anyway, back to the point. So Elite Dangerous, by comparison, is dead silent. They don't talk about their development process, and they tend to miss the mark because they don't communicate with their fans. Now, don't get me wrong, Cloud Imperium's not innocent when it comes to, or not, innocent's not really a good term. They're not perfect when it comes to talking to their fans and communicating. The most recent land claim sale is one example of that, where people think they are cash grabbing, and also it puts off the impression that you're not making enough money if you're trying to sell land claims, which are apparently more than viable in game. And the only difference is that you're getting you don't have to grind for credits or anything, so you're gaining that ability to claim some land from the get-go, which gives you an advantage in where you want to put it. You'll be able to choose with more freedom where exactly you want to go. So or I should say, you'll still have that freedom to choose where you want to go. It's just that you'll have the early pick of land, basically. Just first pick at land, which I think $50 is a little too steep for that, but okay. So they decided to sell their land claims. It didn't go over. It hasn't gone over well with most of the fan base, although a lot of people have still bought them. And a lot of people have complained because they were expecting some sort of bonus or something from it, and it's like, nope, just a regular land claim that you can get in game when it releases. So some people feel ripped off, etc. So they make guffaws. They make faux pas, if I'm to use any other fancy ass terms for a terrible fucking mistake. And so, but Elite is silent. They don't talk about the bugs they are working on. They don't talk about what ships are next. They drip feed very small amounts of information. They hint at things which, from a plot perspective, if they're talking about things related to plot, is just fine. However, right, I have to claim it still. However, when you're talking about game mechanics, you should be engaging frequently with your fan base, especially when it is an online-only game. Both Star Citizen and Elite are meant to be MMO-style, sort of, MMO-style games, and I'm trying not to go into the base design, because there's a lot of reasons why either game would be better or worse for various things. Specifically MMO design, Star Citizen already has Elite crushed, because it already has, they already have plans for in-game clans and all this other shit to really make to have a bigger in-game impact than anything Elite Dangerous has, with the exception of the biggest of clans like SDC when they killed Salome or whatever. Which is a great story, by the way. If you've never heard of that, even if you don't play Elite, it's an awesome story of one of the best assassinations, like one of the coolest events I've ever seen in a game, and a assassination attempt by a player-run group of terrorists / Terrorists / pirates. There we go. Complete my thought. But yeah, they don't really talk about their development process with the very people that are trying to contribute to that with their various criticisms. Whereas Star Citizen does. They frequently communicate with their fan base and go to the Reddit and answer questions all the time about all kinds of crazy shit. Whatever the fan base is trying to get a hold of, and if it's too secretive and if it's something they don't want to talk about, they just don't talk about it. That looks cool. Put that up there. So, this notion that the game will not come out is frankly kind of absurd at this time. Maybe there is a time in the future where they do start to run dry on money and it starts becoming evident. Talking with their fan base less and less, less updates less often, less talking about what's going on in the studio, and they start to get quiet, and now we have to start worrying. But until then, they've been very talkative, very active with their community. So I don't think the game is going... At the moment, I have no evidence to suggest that the game isn't going to come out. It's just taking a long time because it's one of the most ambitious fucking games ever attempted, especially at this age. I think we're still a little bit early in technology for a game like Star Citizen, but they're making it work, so we'll see. So, that's kind of my... and of course, No Man's Sky had a problem with transparency. They were talking about how what they wanted the game to be and not what the game was. Set that expectation of and that's what people interpreted. And of course, why wouldn't they interpret? Why would they interpret it in any other way? I'm not making excuses for them. I'm saying, yeah, they should have known that their fucking fan base was going to interpret all of the things they were saying this way. Being an indie dev is not an excuse for not paying attention to good PR, I should say. So that's kind of my rant for today. Mostly based on that. Destiny is its own. Destiny's doing its own thing with. I just put out a Destiny 2 video, which is why I didn't want to talk about it 2 days in a row. But oh my god, I love my space truck. This is awesome, by the way. If you haven't played, okay, hang on. Let me advertise into some No Man's Sky for a second. Let's get this out of the way. No Man's Sky, in its current state, despite making some more mistakes, has been mostly delivered. Most of the promises they made when they were initially talking about the game have been delivered. If you were waiting for a time to play the game in its realized state, this is it. 1.4 will probably come out in the next 2 to 3 months. That's their normal development cycle for this sort of thing. It's been a long time since 1.3 came out. It's like August or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a while. We should be coming upon 1.4 soon-ish. So, expect some... expect that. If you were waiting for a time to get into this game, go ahead and get into it. It's okay. It's pretty good. I have seen some people who cannot get over the initial disappointment of the game and will not play the game anymore, regardless of how good it gets, because there will always be that predisposition to gripe about every little thing that's broken in the game. They're saying, "Oh, it's still not a fucking flawless, perfect game. It still doesn't have every single feature I could ever want in a space game." But it's a decent little game to sit down and play, and it's still good for relaxing, especially with the creative mode, which I'm finding to be pretty enjoyable, to be honest. At right now, play around a little bit and build some shit. I'm really hungry though. Ugh. It's almost time to eat, I think. Yeah, lucky for you guys, I didn't decide to eat on the video today. Thought about it though. Let me tell you. Also, not having to build stuff. Awesome. So much nicer. But oh, that's right. I was going to talk about Destiny 2's recent post concerning the changes coming to the game in the month of December. So they just recently put out a blog post, and this is part of the transparency thing, documenting precisely what they are wanting to accomplish from December 1st to New Year's Day. So what they're going to try and do in a month, plus the DLC they're going to release. I have to say, if you haven't read it, take a look. It looks like they're going to implement some things to improve the end game. They're implementing things to improve interaction between players, improvements to the emotes, improvements to the guns. There's going to be masterwork guns that can drop, which are special legendary weapons that are supposed to be the rare legendaries, presumably, that like the actual rare legendaries, because legendaries drop a dime a dozen after like fucking like level 200. So those are supposed, and also the less repetition for exotics, which is important, I feel like. So hopefully they make exotics a little more rare to drop randomly. And honestly, I've always thought Xur was kind of a huge fucking mistake. Personally, I've always thought that it was not a good idea to make exotics just purchasable, especially not things like freaking Merciless, which is an overpowered exotic right now for PvE specifically. PvP, it's about as good as any other fusion rifle, in my opinion. Unless you're really faced with a huge group of people, but you're most likely going to kill someone with one hit from a fusion rifle. So let me tell you, if you're hoping to take advantage of that, if you don't kill them, it increases your fire rate in PvP, then good luck. I hope you enjoy intentionally missing. Or trying to catch them with less of the bursts. So, ship. Wonder if they're going to a station. So, I'm trying to remember where I was at. Right, the Bungie update. So take a look at it. It's all over the web right now. People talking about do not be swayed by headlines for Destiny 2's list of updates, because some people have. A lot of them, even the more reputable sites, are using relatively clickbait-ish titles. Just go read it. Take a look at the update of the list of planned updates and see what they're trying to do with the game, because that's the first time they've really done that for Destiny 2. And in fact, Destiny 1, I think, in general, didn't have a whole lot of real updates for what was coming in future updates. That was a little bit redundant. So give it a look, and this could be a turnaround for the company. I hope it is. They've been showing a few troubling signs. I'm not the type to try and gaslight a panic and talk about how some just worst case scenario is going to come to pass. I don't think that's productive or intelligent. But they were showing some troubling signs, and they appear to be taking the measures necessary to fix that, to reacquire what made them such a great company when they were still developing Halo and they were much more involved with their fan base. So I look forward to seeing what they decide to do with their newfound talkativeness. Remember, I don't even know if I mentioned, there's definitely some problems with. Wait, that's right. Didn't they add stairs? I think they added stairs at some point. Let me find that. It's probably not going to be in decoration. Is it in cuboid rooms? Yes. Okay. That's right. See, look, this is one thing I really dislike about this system right now. How can I make that work? What if I add... Because it won't let you attach it, because it's got to go to the edge of a room. So I'm hoping that I can attach some cuboid... oh, that's right. I have a fucking jetpack, which I can't use in build mode, which is kind of annoying, but okay. I love that. I love how it says decorate and reinforce. It's like, no, pretty much just decorate. You don't have to, be, don't know where I was going with that, let's be honest. What was I trying to... oh, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to put stuff on top of this building. I should probably get on top of the building. I'm really spacey, let me tell you. I will just completely forget whatever it was I was trying to do. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. What's happening? Oh, that's interesting. Oh. Whee! Huh. Okay. That's not intentional, I'm assuming, but it's kind of funny that I would stumble upon that. Okay, now I want to make a floor. It's been a long time. I used to have like the construction system down pat, and I have pretty much forgotten mostly how to do it. Can I get away with that? Actually, let's do that. And then we'll add the stairs. Please attach to this. Oh my god, are you serious? It only attaches to the inside edge of a cuboid room. God, that sucks. And what's funny is, like, I can't rotate it. It won't attach to the... It's not a perfect system. The building system in this game, very well done, but it definitely has some things that are lacking, like this specific instance. I will say the stairs suck. Huge dick. Just can't... you can't really argue that. They suck. So, what I think I can do is build a hallway like this. No, wait, I need a room right here. I think I need a room right here. Keep forgetting to put that down. It's a little bit awkward because I have to angle the screen down so it doesn't really look that great, but this is what I don't understand about stairs. They are genuinely kind of confusing, if I'm being completely honest. I don't quite oh shit, I did not mean to do that. Delete that. Oh, right, that's a cuboid room. I need to delete this. There we go. Duh. Now I can attach this here, and I can delete, or no, not delete, but add the box here, the box here. There we go. See, that's what I was trying to do. And now I can add this and this. There we go. Now we have stairs inside the house. Okay. So, if you've ever wondered how to create a decent staircase, that's how you do it. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm okay with this. That's okay with me. So now we're inside, and I'm gonna put the floors. But yeah, I like it. I like it when a development team is more. They pay more attention to what the people want rather than pulling a Blizzard and just saying the players don't know what they want. They do. That's why the word want exists. It's a word of agency. It is what a person on an individual level desires. And no, I don't. I do agree that people playing these games can be extremely overly passionate about them. And I use the term overly there we go. I use the term overly passionate because it really does apply. There we go. This is looking pretty cool, I will say. If I do say so myself. Okay. Let's get a look at the building from the outside and see if it looks as cool as it does on the inside. Ta-da! Oh, Jesus Christ, this big ugly staircase has got to go, I swear. What can I do to fix that? I think I know. Whoops. Broke it. Okay. Actually, can I set these up inside? No. No, I cannot. Oh, okay. It's just the foundation. Never mind. Alright, now I have to rebuild my way up to the second floor. I think it is good overall to talk to your audience and understand what the trends are and what they're talking about. And identify what they want and work your game towards what the majority is talking about, what are the most passionate issues, appeal to some people in this group with an update or two, say, you know, well, we're addressing this now, we'll address that later, that kind of thing. You know, it's better than dead silence, is what I'm trying to say. It is a lot better than saying all of these complaints and hearing nothing. I don't want to build a big ass fucking round room just to put a fucking staircase in it, or a ladder. That's stupid. I'm also getting a wee bit hangry. Hangry. See, because I could just attach. All right, we'll do this the messy way. There's a messy way to do this. All right, and that's literally to just have it kind of like this until I figure out a better way to do it. There we go. I was gonna play Star Citizen, but right now 2.6. The 2.6 launcher is completely broken. I have no idea why. I have not been able to troubleshoot an effective solution. So, right, I should probably put the floor down before I fall through it. There we go. Nope. Okay, sweet. That's a strange landing sound, if I do say so myself. Now let's look at it. Let's see how this shit looks. That's pretty cool. I'm okay with this. I am okay with this. I'm getting pretty tired though. It was a short day at work though. That's always nice. Got out before lunch. It's a rarity, let me tell you. Pretty happy about it. Alright. I guess I'll go ahead and end this particular episode. I guess I'll just continue. I'm going to keep playing this for a while. Maybe I'll record more. Come up with a different topic, perhaps. I'll see you in the next episode.